Dvar Torah in Parashat Emor, the end of the parasha, speaks about the Megadef, a person that spoke out the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and cursed. Such a sin, such a grave sin. But let's put things in context. And when you do that, you see a totally different story. We're talking about a kid that was born to a woman that was called Shlomit Bat Divri. The Torah tells us that she was not the most modest of Klal Israel. Actually, she was the least modest in Klal Israel. This is who was his mother. She was a woman that everybody stayed away from. Who was his father? Shlomit Bat Divri was such a prutza, she got violated by a Mitzri, by a Goy. That is the Mitzri that Moshe Rabbeinu eventually killed. This is the child that came from a father that's Egyptian and a mother that's Shlomit Bat Divri, that's a prutza. It's not his fault in any way. Still, that child, you would think that after he had such a hard childhood, because obviously no one wanted to associate with him. Obviously, if he came to kindergarten, everybody said, all the mothers pulled out their children. They don't want to have such a friend to their son. Yes, always all the mothers and fathers said, stay away from this kid. This kid didn't come from good source. You never know what comes out of him. Such a kid obviously grew up with a lot of resentment, and we have to have compassion for such a kid. One day, he, in the desert, as the Torah tells us over here in the end of the parasha, he wanted to have a place to sleep. He wanted to put a tent. He went to Shabbat Dan, as Rashi tells us over here. He needs to sleep somewhere. He needs to put his tent. He needs to go sleep somewhere. What are you doing here? The tribe of Dan asked him. So he told him, what do you mean? I belong to Dan. My mother is from Dan. He told him, no. It goes according to the father, not according to the mother. Your father's a goy, your father's Egyptian. You don't belong here. Go out. So now he's left without even a place to sleep. So he thought maybe Moshe Rabbeinu would feel compassion for him. Yatsa mechuyav. Moshe Rabbeinu told him, you're guilty. I'm sorry. I can't help you. Amad v'gidef. You can imagine a person that went through so much. He's such a trauma of childhood, such parents, grew up without a father. Now, another aspect over here. This kid, the Mefarshim explained that he was mitgayer, as Rashi tells us. Betoch bnei Israel melamed shenitgayer, Rashi tells us. He became a ger. What does that mean, he became a ger? The Ramban explains that he had a choice between going and becoming like his father, Egyptian, and live beautifully with the Egyptian people, because at the time Egypt was an empire. This was at the times of the Jews who were enslaved and the Egyptians were berumo shel olam. Or go with the Jews and become like a slave and nobody, degraded. And he chose to go with the Jews. Not only that, the Chachamei Tzorfat, the Tosfot explained that he was really mitgayer, because although his mother's a Jew, but before Matan Torah, it would go according to the father. So he sacrificed for Am Yisrael. You would think that a person like this you should have compassion for such a person. Today, a person like that, you understand him. He says something wrong. You understand. You take him to therapy. You speak to him. You calm him down. What happened over here? That the Torah said, you did something wrong, death penalty. He has to be killed. How is that possible? How is that possible? It's a big question, big questions that I keep on asking year after year. I had many answers for this. So I wanted to say in the past that maybe something like that doesn't happen overnight. We think that we usually accustomed to think and hear that a person that went out stabbing, hitting, killing, shooting, so we say, oh, he was such a good kid. We never saw from him anything. He grew up with such a good family. That's what usually they say on such people. It was such a surprise. That doesn't happen. Nothing happened in surprise. It's a buildup of time, and a person that goes through such vicious things obviously had this thing within him building up for a long time, cooking in the heart, and he should have stopped it in the beginning. At the end, it was too late already. So maybe the fault of such a person is that in the beginning, when he started having ill feelings towards HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he should have worked on it right away. Today we want to say something else. Over here it says that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know what to do with him. Moshe Rabbeinu went to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu, "Yenuchu b'mishmar lifrosh lahem al pi Adonai." Moshe Rabbeinu didn't know what to do with such a person. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, no, he's deserving of the death penalty. It could be that was Moshe Rabbeinu's dilemma. In one hand, this person went through so much, and it's not really his fault. I don't know what to do with such a person. Should I give him the capital punishment and kill him because he did something under so much pressure, trauma, bad? Or such a person should be understood. Such a person should be taken and you have to give him therapy and you have to build him up and bring him back. Says HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you're right, your calculation, Moshe Rabbeinu, was right, but not to this person. This person didn't have all that, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says. That's why it's HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because you need to go to the ultimate, to the being that knows to the heart of the person. And that is HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He tells him, no, this person did it just from being rasha, vicious. This person maybe has anger, and you have to know how to control your anger. But you can't excuse such an act on everything else that you want to say, because that's not the situation over here. He's not broken to the level that he couldn't control himself. I want to wish everybody Shabbat Shalom. I want to thank Shnayim Yomi for this big zechut, and really every one of us should join in and try to listen and try to be mechazek in that couple of minutes daily, and take that to the next level of learning Shnai Mikra ve'echad Targum. Thank you.